Rightio legends, Chaos Chronicles, and we're back again with another video. And so today we're doing a video on John Killick. So John Killick is the only Australian prisoner to successfully escape out of prison via a helicopter. And so in 1999, this took place. And so John became Australia's most wanted after this incident. And yeah, he got away. So I'm actually filming an interview with John Killick in a couple of days. So I thought we would do this reaction video today so you guys could see what John was all about and what the incident's all about. And yeah, so John himself is a legend of a man, and so he tells his stories now, and any money he makes from his story he puts towards the needing children in the Philippines. And yeah, what an absolute legend of the man. But yeah, this is an absolute cracker of a story, so let's get
All
into
I
it.
have in this world is my laws, my word, and I don't break them for long.
1999, Lucy hires a helicopter tour to have a tour around the city. Only Lucy has different ideas in store. So she is taking this helicopter via gunpoint to pick up her husband from prison. Only he is not at the front gate. He is a serving prisoner, and she is about to escape him. So John was also a fairly active bank robber in his day. And at the time of this escape, he was, getting older as well. And so, but he had also had a number of escape attempts as it was. So he was a pretty highly secure prisoner. So to be able to pull this off, it says a lot.
But the helicopter was late, and it was a slower one and smaller one, and it nearly didn't come off because by the time she got into it and by the time they got there, I'd seen about a dozen helicopters come over, and my heart was going like that, and sweat was pouring on me.
Prison escapee John Killick faces a nervous wait to find out whether he'll be extradited from Sydney to Brisbane, with the judge today reserving her decision. Killick served 15 years jail over a notorious helicopter escape from Silverwater Prison in 1999.
But I knew
15 years he got for this. That's like crazy. But I guess, if you don't want to do the time, you may as well leave via the sky.
Lucy. If Lucy said she's going to do it, Lucy was going to do it. No, I didn't have any doubt she'd do it,
Also, what a solid woman that must be. Like 100% solid woman. To stand by you is one thing while you're in prison and an absolute rarity. So one to help you escape is just next level.
I think it was about 4 minutes to go when she came, and I was thinking, what am I going to do if, when they start taking us back? To put it in a nutshell, I met Lucy at a party. We met up, and it took her a while to persuade her for a date, and we started meeting up, and eventually an affair began, and it was pretty intense, and we had a lot of trouble from her husband. He controlled her to a degree, and when she told me when she was pregnant he was having all these affairs over in Russia, and he just rubbed it in the face. So we had an affair. It got quite serious. It was a pretty heavy relationship really, and so she moved in with me, and we had a lot of trouble from him, and there were custody battles for the daughter. It got really serious in family court, and that's when he came up with the warrant. Well, once that warrant was activated, they came around and said, look, you've got...
I wonder if that girl's husband was a police officer, because he says that person did cause a lot of trouble and that person did like cause the warrant. So the ex-partner must have been a police officer.
To go back to jail at Queensland. You report to court in the morning, 9:30. I think they knew that I wasn't going to turn up. And so we took off. And it was just a downhill thing from there. What happened, you know, we lost the bond on the house, we lost the furniture, lost the car, you know, no jobs then, and you couldn't get on unemployment, being on the run. And so I turned to, I robbed the bank again in October 1998. And got away with that, did another one in January 99. And I was a criminal dinosaur, you know, I didn't have that expertise that I had when I was younger. And I got caught. There was off-duty cop there chased me.
At least he's honest about it too, and you got to appreciate that honesty. Like, at least he's saying, like, I was a criminal dinosaur. He's saying I was too old to be doing this. Like, good on him.
Dye coming out of the bag. I mean, it's just something like a comedy, you know. And I've described it pretty well in the book. It's quite dramatic. And I actually open it up with this, and with this robbery. And so I finished the tour with her. Lucy came out to see me. Said, got to get you out. And she was getting threatening phone calls. They said, no, your gangster's gone, we're going to get you, you know, at 2 o'clock in the morning. Not him, it wasn't him doing it, he's too clever for that. But, you know, Russian guys were ringing her up. They said, with him off the scene, you're dead, you know. So we decided, okay, we'll get out. But it wasn't that easy because I had previous escapes on me, and I had heavy security. I'd go to court, I'd special armed escort when I went to court. And I knew that we had to virtually use lateral thinking to get out, you know. Had to come out left field, and so the only way was up. The only reason we went ahead with it because it's extraordinary. A helicopter pilot came into the jail. He'd been extradited from overseas, had 10,000 hours experience.
What are the chances of this happening and finding out this information before it happened?
And he was a con man, so I got him put in my cell. You know, it was just fluked it, managed to get him into my cell. So this guy was conning me. He could get me out. He knew who I was, and he said, I can get you out when I get out. $10,000, because I told him I still had the money from the bank robbery, because he was sort of cat and mouse. And so he was going to do it for $10,000, and I was picking his brain, learning all you could about the helicopter, about things like transponder. His transponder was silent alarm through the authorities, and you know what height's got to be, a whole heap of things that I learned. So I was able to give this information to Lucy, who put it into effect because he did go for the transponder and it would have been off, and she managed to disable the transponder and took off his headphones. And
just crazy lucky, that information, because like that would have been game over. They would have had police onto him straight away. That's a tracking device.
And we managed to pull it off. We got shot 3 times. The pilot told me later, he said, we were lucky, missed a certain part of it. Chopper to come past, would have disabled us, would have sent us down. You know, I think, so I would say, when you look at the success of it, if you call it that, you know, there were 2 reasons. One was that having that helicopter pilot in the cell, otherwise we would have been caught. And the second one was the fact that the Olympics were coming on, and you know we were right next to the Olympic site. That's where Silverwater is, and there are a lot of scenic flights coming over. You know, tourists wanting to have a look at the site. So the prison officers became sort of blasé about, there's another helicopter coming over, you know. So they didn't take any notice until it was too late. By the time they realised I was actually virtually into the chopper, you know, there was a chance.
And I would say the third thing was having, like, his partner, his girlfriend, being willing to do that, which absolutely she was.
You only got out to that oval twice a week for an hour a day, and a lot of different wings go out there. So she had to know I was on that oval at that particular time. And there are a lot of reasons I may not have been. There could have been lockdowns, could have been fights that stops. They just take them back inside and lock down the wing. So, she had to know I was there. And so I rang her. I had arranged to get the telephone, and I rang her. She was situated near the airport, and I said, "Look, I'm going for a jog, and I'll call you later." Well, that was the signal, and she went ahead with it. But the helicopter was late, and it was a slower one and smaller one, and it nearly didn't come off because by the time she got into it, and by the time they got there, I'd seen about a dozen helicopters come over. And, my heart was going like that, and sweat was pouring on me. And I took Bennett out with me, the helicopter. I had him as a backup, in case the helicopter landed and the pilot jumped out and ran away. I had my own helicopter pilot, to go in there. And, but I think it was about 4 minutes to go when she came. And I was...
What about that? That's a pretty thoroughly planned out plan and thought about everything. Even took the pilot out with him in case the pilot jumped out of the helicopter. That's crazy.
Thinking, what am I going to do if, when they start taking us back? There'll be stragglers, but we've got maybe 5 minutes left in the oval. I thought, well, I'll fall down and pretend I'm having a heart attack or something. Because then, the protocol is that they can't move you. They've got to get there. They might give you 10 minutes. And then when the chopper comes, I'll just jump up and run away. The heart attack's gone, and away we go. Yeah. But she came, and just in time. But as I said, it was a mistake. I do regret it. I regret. There were a lot of victims for that. Even that, just the one crime. The family. He had a wife and 3 little daughters. And. They went through trauma, and my family suffered, Lucy's family suffered, and it's you don't know what the actual impact on the real victims, but you don't know those on the periphery how they're affected.
Well, there you go, John Killick. That's a pretty crazy story. So there you go, Johnny Killick's story. I thought I'd get in there and do a bit of a reaction. So for those of you that hadn't heard of John Killick, you've got a bit of a induction into his life, so you know what we're talking about. But we're going to be talking about, his life prior to the helicopter incident, and then also post the helicopter incident, because he's doing big things in his life right now. And if you've seen there, the book that he wrote at the end of the video there, so all proceeds from that book and any proceeds that he makes from telling his story goes straight to needy kids in the Philippines. And I just think that's absolutely awesome. What a humble human being. And so not this Monday, but next Monday, the John Killick interview will be dropping. So this Monday, we do have the Todd Carr interview dropping. So Robin 210 from TikTok. So he was a Trump from the New South Wales prison system. So a Trump is a yard, like someone who runs the yard, they call them Trumps in New South Wales. And so I'm actually doing an interview with him tonight, and that interview will be dropping on Monday. Which leads me to, if you guys haven't already subscribed, now's the time you want to be jumping down there and shooting a subscription. Would be very much appreciated. And if you smash that bell icon, you will never miss any of my clips again. I have been the Chaos Chronicles, and you guys have been absolutely awesome. And as always, don't do drugs and crime, and you won't end up in prison. We out.